Hi everyone, I'm Mike the Healer Gut Guy, and in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 steps you need to take to get over all of your food intolerances. By the end of this video, all of your food intolerances could be gone. Imagine going to Italy and you don't got to bring your own lunch pail, and you can actually have pizza, pasta, and bread with your friends and family. Watch this video so on your next birthday, you can eat a piece of birthday cake and actually enjoy it instead of being stuck on the toilet for your whole birthday. I've used to have these food intolerances and they are so easy to fix. I helped one guy who was on a carnivore diet for over 3 years in less than a week eat whatever he wants. It's so easy. You can do it. So the first thing we got to do is find out when we decided we had a certain food intolerance. When did I decide I was allergic to the staff of life, gluten, the body of Christ? When did I decide I was intolerant to dairy, baby's food, the most easiest to digest food on the planet, with all the energy and nutrients my body needs to thrive? When? So for me, when I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease, I started experimenting with different diets. And the first diet that I did was called the specific carbohydrate diet, which essentially eliminates most starches, and you're on the most boring diet you can possibly imagine. So before that diet, my symptoms were relatively mild. I could eat anything I wanted, and I just had mild Crohn's symptoms. I went on this diet for 3 months. My birthday came around. I was like, you know what? Things have been going great. My symptoms have been great. I deserve a treat. I'm going to eat this birthday cake. And oh my God, I thought I was going to die. That's when I decided that I was allergic to grains and I was never, ever going to eat grains ever again for the rest of my life. Every time I walked past the bread aisle in the grocery store, I would flick it off and say, I can't believe it's legal to sell bread. I was a total nutcase about gluten and grains, and it was all because of this stupid specific carbohydrate diet book. The only thing that changed was my perception of the grains. And so a few weeks later, I found this book called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration by Weston A. Price. And it turns out our ancestors were so healthy, they had perfectly straight teeth because they had such an amazing diet and a few other factors, which I won't get into. But these people were eating grains with every single meal. And so that changed my perspective that if I have certain types of starches, that I will be okay. And literally overnight, I was able to eat a wide array of starches where I couldn't before. And then for years and years and years, I was playing with this ancestral diet. And then literally overnight, all of my food intolerances disappeared because I learned something called German New Medicine. Now, German New Medicine helps us understand that all disease is actually a response to a conflict shock, a stressful event that threatens our survival, where it's unexpected, where we feel isolated. It really hits us, and their body goes, "Oh my God, we're gonna die. What organ do I put into overdrive to help us survive?" And those of us, it's the gut or the skin. If you're watching my channel, so with German New Medicine, I realized that my anger and I was getting angry and frustrated towards everything. Like I literally saw overnight one person gain not overnight, but over a course of a month, they gained like 20 plus pounds after being on all sorts of diets. The one thing about German New Medicine that I heard that really dispelled all that food and diet was not causing my gut issues. Dr.Hamer, the founder of German New Medicine, could look at someone's brain CT scan and know exactly what is wrong with them. And each disease, each condition in the body has a very specific place in the brain where it's controlled from. That made me understand that food had nothing to do with the majority of disease. There are some nutritional deficiency diseases, but they are extremely rare. But these so-called autoimmune diseases, these digestive diseases, were caused by something in my life that was making me angry, frustrated, and annoyed. That's a gross oversimplification, but I knew food was no longer causing my symptoms. And literally overnight, I was able to eat pizza, and I had a French bakery I went to in town. I ate pastries. I ate whatever I want. And over the course of about a month or two, I put on 30 pounds and I was a skeleton before. No matter how much I ate, I could not put on weight. And I've heard this story over and over and over again, multiple times. I went on some stupid diet. It changed my perspective on some food. And then I just became terrified of that food. Another thing that I see people happen is, how is that food related to trauma? Now, after I did this, 95% of my food intolerances were gone, but I was still allergic to, I guess you could say, cappuccinos being my biggest one. Sorry, I can't spell that. Cappuccinos. So it was weird. I could have coffee without issues. I could have milk and coffee without issues. I could have milk by itself and not have issues. Cappuccino, instant diarrhea. And one day I realized that one breakup was initiated by a cappuccino. I went on Facebook one day and my girlfriend at the time was having a cappuccino with another guy, and I freaked out and we broke up. When we broke up. And so my brain subconsciously thought, oh man, cappuccinos, that's some crap in our life. We need to get out. Cappuccinos are dangerous. Last time I saw a cappuccino, we had a big conflict. And so we need to respond because there's probably another conflict around the corner. Again, that's not logical, but trauma is not logical in the mind. It's not whatsoever. And once I had that realization, I was able to eat cappuccinos again. Another story I heard from a student is about pizza. He could have gluten, no problem. He could have cheese, no problem. He could have pasta, no problem. He could have pepperoni, no problem. Pizza, diarrhea. And then one day he realized back in college, he was sharing pizzas with a friend and he paid for the pizzas 100%. And then he was going to take the leftovers home for himself. But then one of his other friends unfairly said, hey, I thought those leftovers were going to be mine. He's like, what are you talking about? I paid for these pizzas. These are my pizzas, not your pizzas. This is my pizza. And they got into a huge fight. Once he realized that, he was able to eat pizza without issue. And it wasn't like every time we had a cappuccino, I'm sitting there drinking my cappuccino. Oh, I'm ex-girlfriend, what a jerk. Da-da-da-da. Oh, pizza. I remember that friend that tried to steal my pizza. No, we didn't think about that. Did not cross our mind at all. But I guess it was on our subconscious's mind, because once we had that realization, it all went away. But the way that gut disease works is we get hit with a traumatic event. So one example is someone getting fired from their job, right? They get fired from their job. Oh no, I'm not making enough money. The gut starts to develop extra gut cells to help that person digest more money. Then they get another job, and now the body is like, okay, we don't need these extra gut cells anymore. They resolve the conflict. So the body starts to get rid of these extra gut cells. But when that person got that new job, or when they got their first paycheck, and the mind resolved this, the subconscious mind resolved that conflict and started to get rid of these extra gut cells, on that day, the person went out and they celebrated with a hamburger and a milkshake. They ate the hamburger and the milkshake on the drive home. Oh my God, why is my gut hurting so bad? Oh, my diarrhea. What's going on? It must have been that burger and that milkshake. Even though I've had it had to eat it a million times, I ate it a million times before. It must be that burger and that milkshake. Where in reality, it was the conflict resolution. And when that person makes that realization, burgers and milkshakes are back on the menu. These are how food intolerances are formed. Why are so many people, they have a peanut allergy? And if you have a peanut allergy, if you have any food allergies or food intolerances that send you into anaphylactic shock, we need to proceed with care on this. But for those of us with food intolerances where we get minor symptoms, we get diarrhea, things like that, just realizing how the body works with German new medicine, finding when your food phobia was developed. Did you read a book? Did you watch some YouTube video? Did you have a flare? For me, growing up, sometimes there'd be drama at the dinner table. Eat your green beans, Mike. No, I'm not eating the green beans. Some people were force-fed milk in school. How is food related to the conflict? But Usually just understanding German new medicine and replacing the belief of, oh, this isn't pure enough. This is like, the holistic community is so crazy about their food intolerance stuff. When you start to understand that your mind controls your body and not your gut controls your mind, this is ridiculous. Your gut sends signals to the mind, and your mind makes the decision and then sends it back to the gut. The gut doesn't think, your mind thinks. Your mind controls your gut. When people start to understand that, and they understand that the majority of their symptoms are from this unresolved conflict in their life, they see the ridiculousness of blaming energy and nutrients on their symptoms. Yes, we should eat clean and stuff like that, but it's actually impossible, if not extremely difficult to do in the modern world. And yet there's people every day who somehow get by on these not so perfect foods. The majority of your symptoms are caused, it's somehow linked to trauma, or you just built this belief system because of the holistic community through the holistic books, the holistic YouTube videos, and all that stuff. It's made you afraid of dairy and gluten and oxalates and meat, or like whatever. There's a different type of diet for everything. This is what you need to do to get over your food intolerances. Yeah, I've seen people like tops takes a week, usually takes a day or two, maybe three. It just depends on how ready that person is to give up that belief. So, guys, if you want a free consultation, just go down below and sign up. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.